Hello and welcome to the RWBY podcast. We're talking about Volume 5, Episode 3. I am the Living Shadow, Mediocrity 4.
It's me, High-Powered, your trusty moderator of this podcast, and I look forward to talking about this episode. But not really at the same time, because I feel like I'm going to have to defend it. Yeah.
I am not happy. I'm going in on this episode. I'm dude, what the heck.
And I have some words for people, because apparently someone's been spreading something on the internet about how, socks come in pairs. I like fruit, but I don't like fruit sexually. Wait, hold on. Wait, got a message. Oh, that's a typo. P-A-I-R, not P. Okay, never mind. I'm Cycle Card. Continue on.
What? What?
Fucking keg.
He's like, I'm done. It's out. Shut it down. We're closing it down. All right.
You can stop the video now. We're not going to top that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
We're done. Shut it down. The shortest
I
podcast
got
ever.
my full Halloween costume and everything.
Yeah. Sock, one day he's not gonna top what he does. One day. That day was not today.
I'm afraid for that day.
All right.
Well,
We got one other person.
Is he frozen?
Robert?
He hasn't moved.
yeah, we'll just get to skip over Robert for the time being.
And Robert's here too, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Robert's here, guys.
We promise. We
What
promise.
the crap is going on?
Well, we don't promise because he was here and now he's not.
Okay. So
It's usually me with the technical difficulties. What
I
the fuck?
know.
Yeah, and right now it seems to be everyone but you, huh?
I
Oh,
know.
you're back.
Am I back
He's
now?
back.
Yeah,
Well, not in video. It's
we're
just
not in
video.
video.
You're just smiling in the center of my screen right now.
I
I
have a black screen where he's at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
His image for me looks like a LinkedIn headshot for his profile.
Red
That's
video
what mine looks like.
That's kind of what it looked like until I
That's
minimized it and tried bringing it
Yeah.
back up.
All right. So
Now this is an unforeseen complication.
yes.
There we go.
Nice
There you
segue.
All right.
There
So
we go.
speaking of the episode, I feel like they're using that word, but they don't actually know what it means.
They don't.
Yeah, they really
Yeah.
don't, because that was extremely foreseen. So,
Well, and episode titles in the show have always been kind of bad.
okay, actually, the funny thing is it was kind of foreseen, but not entirely foreseen, because they did a shitty job with that scene, so what should have happened didn't happen, so it's still kind of unforeseen, but it's only unforeseen because their writing is so crappy.
Yeah, it wasn't really like a complication. It was just kind of like just restating things they already know. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
There we
Hey,
go.
there we go,
Yeah.
Robert's back.
All right.
like
cool.
other than Iliad popping up and going like, "Hey, chameleon or whatever," and then just like, "Hey, White Fang," but we're White Fang, but you're not our White Fang. It's not really a complication.
You're right of
Yeah.
me. You're not a true White Fang person.
Just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's
So here's the 10,000-foot view of this episode.
It was bad.
Gira holds a speech.
Mm-hmm.
Weiss is in the clutches of the Bandit Clan, and then Oscar talks. And yeah, that's basically the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, we could actually end with that, because that's basically it.
Yeah,
It was still enjoyable. I still really liked it though. I got
there
my
were things-
giggles.
Okay, there were things that I enjoyed about it, but they were in very specific spots.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
let's
that's
start.
Mhm.
Let's start out with Gira. So
You don't want to start with Weiss just to get it out of the way?
no, I feel like let's start with
Okay.
Gira.
Okay, cool.
Let's start with Gira and the White Fang. So
we're gonna sandwich Weiss.
yeah, we're gonna sandwich
Like the
Weiss.
cream.
Yeah, she's the cream filling in this podcast.
Double stuffed?
Mita's just like,
I mean,
"Oh, speaking of cream, with
So-
a mouthful of Weiss."
so So Gira holds a press conference, and he talks about some stuff. Basically, he's like, I'm telling y'all what I found out on this scroll and the plans that are going on. And everyone, like, it's weird because, like, I don't know if the stock sounds for the crowd was supposed to be, like, approval or disapproval. It was kind of hard to tell at times.
It was.
I
Can
think
I
it
also
was
point
Maybe
out
it was
that
probably both. It was probably both.
Can I also point out that, like all the other times we see Australia, there are not nearly as many people as there should be in the crowd.
I
is true,
kind of
like, they
see
said
this as
something-
kind of a press conference, but
Yeah.
that doesn't excuse like the Volume 4 scenes in Menagerie not even being the most crowded scenes in Volume 4.
Yeah.
We still
I mean,
have that.
still, it's like even still, if it's not like it's a press conference, it's still a press conference. And what else are they gonna do in Menagerie? It's like, hey, the leader of your entire island area is holding a speech. Go see what he's done. He doesn't do this very often.
Yeah, I mean, Gira's got like Trump numbers in terms of his press conferences, which is we don't have any indication that he's as unpopular as Trump is. So why does basically the president not have more people at his events like that? I guess.
Well,
It's just- it makes no
again, I
sense.
don't think there was ever going to be that many people.
Mm.
Yeah, they all got to work and stuff. So, but basically, Gira talks. The most important thing we learned from this talk is that Blake's storyline is a month behind everyone else. The most important thing. But then the problem is, though, with that statement in there is that you realize how much of a clusterfuck they're gonna have to deal with. I'm assuming with the way that this conversation ended is that they want it to where Blake. It sounds like they want to head back to Mistral. So
I mean, listening to what Gira said was so painful. It's honestly the most I've cringed while watching a RWBY episode, because it's him repeating how stupidly bad their writing has been this entire time.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that notion. I mean, and you know, you rewatched Volume 1 recently, so.
My point is the reason why. Okay, yeah, the Jean arc is worse than this. There's no question.
Honestly,
about
the
that.
cringiest moment in RWBY is actually before the Jean arc. It's when Weiss and Jean meet.
yeah,
For me, that was
Yeah.
like
That's pretty bad.
last time I rewatched that when I was introducing Cameron to the show, I was like, oh my. Ugh.
This was the cringiest thing for me because they're reiterating stuff that we already completely know, that they should know, and they didn't really know. And they're re-going through how what's the worst overall like story arc, besides the Jean arc, but this is worse because they tried harder. And also going through how like they got the scroll and all that shit, like going through what was one of the worst scenes in Volume 4, if not the worst scene in Volume 4. And
Yeah, like
so it was painful to hear him say. It's like they say, "Hey, we should go to help Mistral." It's like, you guys knew that. Why didn't you do that before? You fucking idiots!
Yeah, I
Why
just
are
don't
you
understand why it's a
explaining
month
that now?
behind. I just don't understand why it's a month behind. It's like, hey, by the way, it's like we don't establish timelines for this very reason. It's like, but why set it a month behind? Like, why are we behind in this story arc?
Yeah, like the
It's
entire
making no
because
sense.
because timelines make plot holes, right?
Yeah, but that's a plot hole if they freaking basically state that it's a month behind. Like,
I'm
that's a plot hole.
never going to let Miles let that down.
that is literally the stupidest thing he's ever said.
yeah.
It's like, I mean, I can give him the whole. It's like, don't give him a timeline. But if you're literally going to put timelines in something that you just said you weren't going to, then I have a problem. I didn't have a problem before. Now I have a problem.
The entire audience, besides Murder of Birds and everybody else who's as stupid as Murder of Birds, is like,
that's not. Let's.
why haven't they gone already? Why are they reiterating the stuff that we all already know? Why haven't they gone to Mr. already?
Yeah, they've already
no-
reiterated
Anyone who's
stuff.
not
That,
a water skier,
And not only that, everybody knows they're fucked. That has half a brain knows that their situation is completely fucked. So how did this episode still not end with them either getting kicked out or actually just leaving already? What are we waiting for? We're not getting anything out of any of this.
And
it's
right
gonna
there,
happen eventually. Like, it's gonna happen in a later episode. It has
Yeah.
to be.
The-
It's not.
the
They're not gonna
only
do it in
way-
episode 3. They're gonna do it like 6, 7, and then like or something like that.
The only thing we got out of this speech that I actually liked was like Gira's perspective on the White Fang, and then like the handover from him to Sienna Khan, which I did like that sort of
Yeah.
insight.
It's just like, yeah,
That
it's
was
like, it's like,
interesting, yeah.
Ilya's outburst, I mean, her autistic screeching was justified. But here's the thing, though: if you're trying to slander the Belladonna name, there's a much easier way to do it, which is pointing out that Blake was on the same team as Weiss. Like,
you know, just do your secret.
How did they not mention that? Oh my
do your
god!
secret agent
so
like ninja
fucking
stuff. Like
annoying.
that's what you are, Ilya. Do that thing. Instead of
It's
like,
just-
I'm here.
Yeah, well, and what you guys have touched on is my biggest complaint with this episode, in that it just ran in place.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, it's like-
this feels like an episode from volumes 1 and 2.
and that's not a good thing.
Yeah. And I also wonder about like with Ilya coming out, and like what was she trying to accomplish? She said, you know, she was gonna make them leave Menagerie, which they said they were planning to do anyway. But like, what-
Joke's on you, we're already planning on leaving. Who's
Yeah,
the idiot now, Ilya?
yeah, or something like that. So it's like, what did she think she was accomplishing with this one? It's like, I don't know, if she was trying to like you said, you know, if she was trying to slander the Belladonnas, then she should have actually had someone to slander them with. If she was trying to scare people, then she should have attacked someone. It's like, I don't know. I think the
No,
example
see
I
that
come
that
up
would
with-
actually go against what the Whitefinger are trying to do. They're
Yeah,
trying to
I'm with Sock on
gain-
this.
Yeah, they're trying to reinforce their own strength and ideals. Like, we are Faunus. We don't need to help the humans because the humans haven't done shit for us.
I
So
guess,
why should we
but
go
it's
from
like,
there? Like, we have this
Yeah,
island
but
for a
it's like-
reason.
Even though it's an
like,
island, you
Attacking
don't
someone
actually
would
like.
have never, like, yeah, attacking someone would have been completely out of line. It would have done nothing. It would actually hurt them. People would have gone to Gira's side. And if anything, if she was going to attack anything, it should have been that goddamn scroll.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
honestly waiting for just like a bullet just to like break the scroll.
Yeah, he's just, I'm waving it up here. You know, here's my scroll.
Look at
Like,
this!
it's not always
Look at
hard,
this
yeah.
super easy target. And then the only thing that I really liked too, when how Gira was at the end, he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go help Mistral," and I'm sitting there like, you probably could have worded that better. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna try to, it's like we're asking for volunteers to go and like help Mistral out because we don't want to repeat this. Because in all honesty, it's like, what do they have more to lose if they don't try to help Mistral than they do by they have less to lose by helping Mistral. They have more to lose by not helping. Because
Yeah,
like
but they don't
just
know that.
yeah, well then you gotta think too, like, oh, just like all sorts of trade and stuff that they're gonna be losing out on because, you know, oh look, another kingdom went through like the brink of collapse. Man, we sure do miss all those boats that were bringing us food and stuff and all this trade that we used to be getting. Man, this gruel that I've had for the past 2 weeks is really great. I love this gruel. This is good stuff.
Well, no, but it'll get worse because then
Yeah.
they'll have to eat crusty brand imitation gruel.
Mm.
But the good thing is that 90% of orphans can't tell the difference.
TM.
Can you tell the difference? Okay.
I think I fucked that line up a little bit. I think it's like 3 out of 4 orphans can't tell the difference. I forget exactly what
It's
it is.
fine. It's fine.
But that was a Simpsons thing. Crusty brand imitation gruel.
Oh, that's terrible.
But I mean, like, there's like, there's just a lot of running in place. I feel like we don't have a whole lot more to talk about this part.
No,
I mean,
actually, we
there's
don't.
like some nitpicking there. There's some nitpicking that is just my whole thing. Was,
Well, like,
my entire
okay.
issue was done. My entire
So-
issue was-
on the plus side, we do actually get a good look at what Ilya would have latched onto, that pole. But where did she go from there? And why did it
Yeah,
take so long for the guard to be like, after her?
Speaking of the guard, why does he have a name?
Yeah.
Why does he have
He has
a
a
name?
last name. You know who doesn't have a last name?
Spring Maiden.
Yeah, the Spring Maiden does not have a last name, but this random guard does.
No.
Yeah, we've seen
Yeah,
him for like
that's
a
odd.
frame, and that's. Why does he have a.
They're probably just referencing somebody, a friend or something like that, or, you know,
Yeah.
it's got to be something along those
No,
lines.
no. It was that guy who donated $10,000 for the combat ready game.
Oh.
Wait, someone did that?
That would not surprise me if that were true.
Wait, no.
Like I know you're
actually do that?
Yeah, someone did.
They donated $10,000 to a company that didn't need it.
Yep.
Wow.
Excuse me, I'm gonna mute myself.
The goal with Kickstarter nowadays.
I mean, he's right. He's 100% right.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like, I don't hate Rooster Teeth in general, but
they do some
they do
shady
some really
stuff.
stupid shit. I mean, for people that don't understand, they got bought by a pretty big company. They do not need Kickstarters for anything. They're only doing it because they know they can get away with it.
Yeah.
And if you fucks are the people that are giving them the money, stop. You're the problem.
You're the enabler.
Yeah, well, right now I'm more
money with first memberships.
Yeah, and right now I'm more peeved with the way their content usage guidelines work. Like I haven't had any issues with it, mostly because my reviews are not even done until like Wednesday at the earliest. But I know people who have had issues, and some like Rooster Teeth needs to learn what fair use is. And they need to just delete their content usage guidelines because they do not follow copyright law.
Yeah, I think Celtic Phoenix has gone on a rant about this.
Yes. Celtic Phoenix had him and Fat Man did like a 40-minute podcast type thing, talking about it.
Yeah, and almost all their videos got holocausted in the Adpocalypse too. Also.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Which is too bad, because I don't agree with a lot of what Fat Man says, as critical as I am of this show. He's way more critical than even I am, but man, he puts a lot of effort into what he does.
Oh yeah, he does.
He tries really hard to be red letter media, which it's to the point where like you see him in the reaction type stuff, the more off the cuff type stuff. You realize that most of what he brings up in his reviews, he doesn't actually care about. No. And it's just like, hey, I'm making this 3+ hour long review of this volume. I better be freaking thorough and make sure I hit every single little contrivance or plot error or teeny tiny little retcon I can find.
I think we need to go back to the main topic.
Yeah.
We need to get back to Weiss. So
let's get to Weiss, yeah.
Okay, I will say this. If it wasn't for Weiss's scene and then, like, the good character moments we get with Ozpin, I would have disliked this episode quite a bit more than I currently do. I actually liked the conversation that Weiss had between Vernal, which is basically just Spring. That's her name. Spring Maiden's name is Spring.
Yeah. Vernal. Whatever.
Vernal, well, no, it's not just that, but Vernal's such a weird name, even for RWBY standards. It's just not very memorable.
Yeah. No. Well, dude, speaking of, I think I said this earlier before we started the podcast, but like, if it's not really that strange considering the previous Fall Maiden's name was Amber Autumn.
Well, we don't actually know if her name was Amber Autumn. We know her name was Amber, and Crow refers to her as Autumn once, and all the other times she's called the Fall Maiden, so we've just kind of drew the dots.
Yeah, Amber's not bad. That's like kind of a slightly clever
Amber is Amber is an actual real life color name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember reading these books as a kid, but the Amber Brown books, those were fun. There's one called Amber Brown is Not a Crayon.
Okay.
All right. So whenever it comes to this part, here's what I like about this part. So the conversation that Vernal and Weiss has, it initially starts out where it's like, yeah, we want you to join our secret club. That's but it's like, but sorry, it's like you're worth too much money to not pass up in ransoming you back to her father. So here's the irony. If they try to ransom, oh man, Robert's all freaking out right now. But whatever.
Yeah, he's been frozen on my screen for like the last 5 minutes.
He's going through a car wash.
Yeah. So whenever it comes to that part, for me, the way that Vernal was talking to Weiss, it almost feels like Vernal is daring her to escape. And
I did get that impression.
Yeah, I think it's a test, and I bring this up in my review. I'm not sure what the bandits are expecting to get out of her. Like, they said that, like, most of the time, trafficking in people isn't worth their time. But, and like, how do they plan on even contacting Jacques Schnee to ransom her off? Like, the only thing I could think of is using Raven's portals to just drop into Atlas and then ransom her off from there, and then get out before the Atlas
into the mansion with a brick with a note tied to it, and they just throw it through a random window. But the brick is never found for like a month because of how big the mansion is.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, they're never gonna find it. That won't work.
Well, yeah, considering like they bust a window or something like that, and it's just like, well, they didn't check Weiss's window.
I'd love to see a montage of Raven teleporting into the mansion with Weiss, and like she keeps teleporting to different rooms and like just can't find anybody in there.
Just climb on the John.
No, it's just them trying to deal with the United States Postal Service of trying to get a letter.
It'll
send snail mail.
It'll be like that one episode of Rick and Morty.
Which one?
I don't know.
I've never watched Rick and Morty.
I just know they jump through portals a lot, so I'm sure there's an episode where they're just jump through portals trying to find where to go.
I was gonna say I've never seen an episode of Rick and Morty.
I've only seen a few. I will say
this: I want Chibi Armored Gaiga to be a member in the next season of RWBY Chibi.
That'd be great.
That dude needs a name.
So here's the only things that I don't like. Here's the only things that like the thing that this makes you even more think that Raven has the relic of knowledge, but it's still I feel like I kind of want to call bullshit on it. Is how the two goons are like, ha 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 ha, joke's on you. Weiss, Winter left like a long time ago. You're an idiot. Ha ha ha. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, okay, I can understand if you have I can understand like the Deus Ex Machina of having the knowledge, the relic of knowledge, like at the camp, but like why? Like I don't want to believe it. Like for me, it's like how would they actually know? And why would they even care if Atlas is at Mistral? Like they're obviously have had pretty much free reign of the countryside.
Well, like we already like we know that there's still like local comms. Like I'm sure someone has like jacked a scroll or something like that, and it's common knowledge because of like what Lionheart was saying earlier. It's just like they've got this whole like first it was embargo, and now they're just closing off borders entirely. So of course it makes sense for like Winter to just be like heading straight back home to be being recalled by Ironwood. But it doesn't make it just. It's just kind of like annoying because like we were all had that thought in our head, like, oh yeah, Winter's in Mistral, and so now she's back in Atlas. Like, what the?
On the plus side, this kind of gets rid of her death flag.
It's true, but
because this is what they were talking about when they said. This is what they were talking about when they said she's not going to always be there for Weiss.
But I wanted Winter.
Yeah, come on.
I wanted my snowbird.
Thank you.
Well, we'll get to that later because I think Robert and I have some theories on what might actually be going on.
Other than that, this was the one good part of the episode, in my opinion. It's the one part where overall the scene was actually good and we learned something. And it seems to be actually going somewhere, and I don't have a bunch of big gripes with it. Besides how did they? But there could be ways to explain how they know that. I don't even think they. The thing is, I think the way it's explained is that, and I'm okay with this. They don't necessarily know specifically that Winter's gone. They know specifically that they only know that Atlas has recalled everybody, and they could have learned that from multiple sources.
So the embassies have closed, all of the trade has stopped. There's like, oh, all the Atlas people are gone now. And then like all the CIA guys in Atlas are like, nope, we're still here. As they're calling out from their black site, and they're like, oh crap, we gotta scrub this place now because we gave away our position.
Yeah, so that I can understand. So I actually don't even have a problem with that. The only thing is, if that is true and Winter is gone, my biggest problem would be I wanted Winter. I was expecting Winter. Where's my fucking Winter? Because Winter's great. But at least
that, ladies and gentlemen, is what it's like to live in Missouri.
Well, here's the other thing too. Also, is like you assume that Ironwood wants to take a more active role in like the defense of all the kingdoms. So it would be in. It feels like it would be in his.
Well, no, he
best
doesn't.
interest.
He doesn't actually. That was the whole thing. Is he only wants to protect Atlas at this point? He doesn't care about anybody else anymore.
Yeah, but he would. But it seems like he would still want boots in the ground in Mistral to be aware of what's going on.
Be it probably in an unofficial capacity.
That's a good point.
Albeit unnamed, hit teams rolling around there.
That's a good point, invisible chairperson.
I'm just balcony posting right now.
Yeah. Something else, though, that kind of, I don't know, that the whole communications thing kind of brings up is the fact that Weiss says, if I don't show up in Mistral, my sister's going to come looking for me. How did Winter know she
Weiss
was going to
was
Mistral?
bluffing.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps. But this wasn't, but I did like this section, mostly just because it once again shows Weiss being a champ and, she gets Vernal tells her, no one's coming to save you. And so, instead of just moping and moaning, she does something about it, summons up her little mini Gaiga. So I thought that was awesome.
That's what's really cool. That's what I've really been enjoying about Weiss, even since Volume 4 through present, is I don't know how they can write Weiss so consistently and so well and do so many other things so fucking stupidly.
Because they got two writers of very different talents.
That's true. Carrie
or lack
is much better
thereof.
than Miles. That is true. Carrie is better than Miles. But Carrie likes...
Carrie has also been writing Oscar. But
yeah, Carrie's also been writing Oscar, and that's been terrible also. So that's kind of why that's...
It's getting better.
Okay.
It's getting
No,
better.
it hasn't. No, it's not actually. This is actually worse because this is the most he's talked, and he still has no character. So the thing is with the good thing with Weiss is that I want to give them credit. I want them to be good at writing. And what they do is Weiss. They do Weiss well. She keeps getting obstacles put in her place, and in the past she didn't really know how to deal with them, or she'd pussy out basically. And now every time she thinks somebody else is going to help her or something that doesn't, and she does it her fucking self. That's what she did to get away from her dad. I mean, she had Klein's help, but she really was the active one. That's the same thing that happened with the wasp grim thingies, whatever you want to call those things.
Yeah,
Lancers. The Lancers, great fight. But she actually took action. She had to do something about it, and she did. And she saved her life at least, because she would have died otherwise. Yeah. Rip Pilot Boy. And in this situation too, she thinks Winter's gonna come save her, and then they're like, "Well, Winter's not gonna come save." She's like, "Well, fuck, I guess I gotta do it my goddamn self." And she is being shown to actually do that. So,
it's only she learned from somebody else on this show. Weiss is a 13, 15-year-old. She's learned from RWBY.
Yeah, Weiss
is she like 16, 17 now?
Yeah, 16 now.
She's 16 now. Weiss is saving this fucking episode. Thank you, Weiss.
All right, let's get into the Ozluminati part of this episode. So, okay, I'm gonna say this right now from the get-go. The supporting cast is literally supporting Ozpin right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was just like Oscar and RWBY and Crow like in the same room talking together, that scene would have been terrible. Like, and here's the other thing too. This is why I'm glad
it was still pretty bad.
Yeah,
this is pretty bad.
And this part here is also why I'm glad that they switched to Maya. Imagine them trying.
I was going to bring that up. In fact, I did bring that up in new episode discussion.
Imagine them trying to convey those facial expressions in the old animations. Like,
this entire episode would have been insufferable without Maya.
Yeah.
Like, it was already pretty much insufferable to me, but it would have been one of their worst episodes.
This episode is mostly dialogue, or actually mostly monologues.
Yeah,
and it's all shot very flat, very static. Characters barely move. Blake doesn't even talk, which is plus. But
I can't help
Oh
you
my
there,
goodness.
CJ. Just leave it. Just leave
yeah,
it.
yeah. Blake
She
doesn't even talk.
sucks.
Like, so there's barely even any motion. The most exaggerated motion we get is Oscar's little flip, which they take out the background, do the like really generic anime background, just draw lines around him to make it look
might
like
as
he's
well have
moving,
been on a
even
green
though
screen.
he's actually holding, even though the model itself is actually holding completely still.
And they still can't do it half
Yeah.
as well as Nichijou does it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
because of that, like, this whole episode just came off as very flat and static. Like, this is the comparison I made in my review. Toei animation. This is Toei animation level movement. This is the same, like, corner cutting techniques that made anime inferior to Western animation for, in my opinion, to this very day, but for a lot of people, at least until the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for a couple of exceptions. But
By the 90s? I guess Fist of the North Star was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay. I'll try to be quick here because I do want to rant about this, and I hopefully will just be quick so I don't have to say too much later.
Let's before we get to the rants.
Okay.
We did learn a few things from this. So one, Ozpin is cursed because Sailor Moon. Yeah, because
Sailor Moon is the true villain.
Like him. Yeah.
So Salem has already won, and I'm sitting there. It's like, so if Salem has already won, then why does RWBY as a show even exist? And we're not exist in them, and they're not all living in dystopian universe number 47 right now.
Yeah, what did he fail to
maybe
stop
he
from
failed,
doing?
but not someone else. Like he was a supporting part of it, I guess. Like
And then
I don't know.
I have a theory on that, but
we'll save that for later.
Yeah, we'll save it for
really,
later.
like that's the only other thing we know what they're going to plan on doing is it doesn't sound like they're going to fire Huntsman to go to the Bandit Clan. There's obviously going to be a training montage too. Also, I like how the joke is that now since Ozpin only pointed to RWBY and John, that Nora and Ren are expendable characters, and I'm making that joke.
No.
Making that joke at dude's expense though, but whoever the review guy is that makes those edits is he's pretty on point most of the time in his humor.
Oh, I'm sure he's gonna point because they gotta point something out because I noticed that too. It's like so Ren and Nora are already fine because Ren still kind of sucks at fighting. If you guys haven't,
Ren gets gassed in like 3 seconds. He has no stamina.
and his weapons suck dick.
And
Nora's been great every time though. Nora's been pretty great every time though. In fairness, so I guess
she's just.
Yeah, well, for them, it's just my take is that it's just nothing like really specific, and or not important to the plot.
Yeah,
like
just
keep
what you're doing just better.
Oh, because they're so good at keeping
something
that
like
plot
that.
relevant and making sense. So they had to not mention Ren and Nora. Okay, yeah, whatever.
But I mean,
like
I'll let you go to. I mean, if anyone has anything to get in, like what we actually learned this episode wise.
Well, it's no, go ahead.
Yeah,
mostly just theory.
Yeah, we'll say.
Yeah, we got a lot of
theories.
Got
theories on like who I think. Yeah, theories on who some of those huntsmen might be. And they're going after
the theory crafting we should save for the end.
Relevant knowledge.
Yeah. And Sock, you got anything?
From this part, it's just like, well, it's like we get the whole thing that Ozpin is he specifically says only in like-minded souls. It's like, is that why that whole like fear thing exists? Like, is like if we don't have anyone that can think that has like a positive like outlook on life or anything like that, does that mean just Ozpin just doesn't come back? Has Ozpin reincarnated as a woman?
Be hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just
so
saying.
It's like a lowly card from Hellsing Ultimate.
Yeah,
I would imagine he would have at some point. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, or like the 13th Doctor. Oh my!
Yeah,
he's basically just Doctor Who.
Oh, but except worse in every way, shape.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but worse in every way, and doesn't have David Tennant's amazing acting skill to save him.
And I don't even watch Doctor Who, and I know that it's like a good show. For
Actually, so I do have to hand it to Aaron. Last name That I don't remember his last name off the top of my head. Al from the original FMA.
Original
He did a
Al.
really good job.
Yeah.
I think, like, I'm gonna kind of get into this as a positive, and I think Dude is gonna disagree, but Sock's gonna agree. This is the first time I've actually cared about Oscar.
Nope, I actually agree with you. I'm gonna get.
And a lot of it has to do with Aaron's acting.
I agree with that as well. Actually,
He
Okay,
actually
so
made
Is Aaron
Oscar. He's Oscar. He's Oscar, but he's also Ozpin in this episode. Shannon McCormick only speaks when they're doing the double talk thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
the rest is Aaron, and he does draw a very good vocal distinction between Oscar and Ozpin, and he really does capture Shannon McCormick's vocal mannerisms. He did his homework. He did his homework for this
That's
episode.
honestly the most impressive part of this episode.
Yeah,
As
the voice.
Oscar, Aaron did an incredible job. So much better than other Aaron, because let's be honest, she voices Blake, and that's not even difficult.
I'll be honest.
Aaron Dismuke, or however you pronounce his name, I'm just going to say Dismuke because I think it's Dismuke. I think
Yes, it is.
how it's spelled.
Yeah.
Why is this the actor's name that we always butcher?
He did do an amazing job. I was
Like,
like,
I don't
holy
think any-
shit,
I don't
it
think any-
sounds-
Yeah, I don't
it
think
sounds
any of us
like
is...
Ozpin, but he's not actually. It's not actually Shannon McCormick. That was
Yeah.
fucking impressive.
And it's
He
also
actually-
impressive because Shannon McCormick is a good voice actor, and he
Yeah.
does a good job as Ozpin for the most part. But I just find it funny that we kept on flubbing Aaron Dismuke's name, but I don't think we've ever flubbed Vic Mignogna.
because people say that all the time. People tell
Yeah.
you Vic Mignogna's name.
Yeah.
Well, I want to put this in before Dude goes on his rant. Is whenever it comes to this episode, outside of like a few like disappearing tales and stuff, on like the purely mechanical like part of this episode, it's very solid. Like
Yeah,
the
it's-
voice acting's on point.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
it's really just like,
There's some good composition stuff. Like my favorite is when Vernal points Weiss's sword at her, and just the framing with Weiss and the bars and the blade like going right up her center. Like that's some good composition.
Yeah.
And I have met my match with this freaking bag of muffins.
you don't own a pocket knife.
It's not down here.
You don't have a pocket knife within arm's reach. I have like 3 different guns within arm's reach. Right
And as soon as I complain about it,
You
I
would
finally
open
got
it.
it. I've been trying for like 5 minutes fiddling with this, and as soon as I make a note of it and actually say something about it, I finally get it open.
High Power, you would be the one to open a muffin bag with a gun.
I mean,
I would
I've-
love to see that.
I've
That'd be
opened a few things with firearms. I'll just say that.
He just like puts he just puts like a bayonet on his on his Glock or something like that. Just goes.
But I don't even own a Glock.
I was
Not
gonna
yet,
say-
at least.
I was gonna say I would never guess that High Power would own a Glock.
No, I don't own. Like all I got right now is an HKP 2000 here. I got it. Got it
Oh,
right
here it goes.
Here you go. That's it. That's it. Watch as we get content ID strike for this.
I know it's kind of cut out from your screen tear, so
Mm-hmm.
It's still there now. Now we can kind of see it in the background behind his chair.
Oh well, who cares?
All right, rant time.
this is the only one I have.
So we're-
Freaking Nerf gun.
It's a literal toy.
I would do the muscle thing, but that's really lame. So I'm not going to do that.
Aw, disappointed.
All right,
So-
dude, you've got 3 minutes.
I've got 3 minutes. All right. First big problem. They kind of hinted for a while that, this is really important, that Salem and Ozpin have been around for thousands and thousands of years, right? But I have never really felt in this show like this is like the battle to end all battles. I've never gotten that much consequence out of this because they've never been able to do a good job of saying that, of portraying that. And now all of a sudden, Ozpin's basically saying like, yeah, I never defeated Salem, but now we're going to defeat Salem. It's like, that's really lame and very unbelievable. Like, so many other shows and franchises do such a better job of showing that this is not the only fight. There are going to be multiple fights and multiple big bads throughout the existence of whatever world this is. Star Wars does that. Harry Potter even does that because of Grindelwald and stuff like that. Lord of the Rings has met, they point that out as well. And
I
at
mean-
least they do a better job of making that big bad actually believable as the big
And I mean,
bad.
and Naruto, like they had their big final fight, but it wasn't until like the fight was the big final climactic fight was like 3/4 of the way done that they were starting to realize that like, well, this really is it. This really is kind of the war to end all wars. Like they never had that kind of pretentious notion. It was just like, oh yeah, we just need to take care of the Akatsuki. That's all. That's all the war was just, hey, we all hate the Akatsuki equally. Let's just take them out.
Yeah, with this, it's like, okay, so now we're telling you that not only is Salem, like, big and important and a bad guy, she's the biggest bad ever, which kind of makes me, like, completely discount the White Fang now. If Salem's that important, who gives a fuck about the White Fang at all? Which, by the way, makes Blake even less important.
They're just like a small stepping stone.
A fun question I pose is how many Team Starks had to die to get to this point?
All of them.
They don't go over any of that stuff. Like, and then so he says that, and then it's like a comedy scene after that. Like that doesn't make sense. Like that doesn't make me feel like there's consequence. I don't feel like, oh, we're gonna start training now. This is gonna be a big fucking deal. No, they like make jokes after that.
It kind of offsets the whole seriousness of the situation.
Yeah, you should have like,
especially from Nora, which I get Nora's usually comic relief, but when we first found out about this stuff in A Much Needed Talk, Nora was the only one who was like,
questioning.
Why are we not in more of a hurry to do something about this?
And now all of a sudden she's not in like, why is this not even bigger news? Because they didn't know that yet. Like
you know what this would have been a perfect opportunity to? Is that they should have brought up Ozpin should have brought up a past failure to as an example to kind of like set the bar and been like, okay, this is what I tried and it hasn't worked. Yeah, my Team Stark flashback. I'll settle for like the animated World of Remnant style flashback, but like I hope we get something Team Stark. But
why didn't Ruby ask about her mom? Why did nobody ask any fucking questions that matter?
Did anything like, involving Silver Eyes? Like, hey, Osman, did you know about the Silver Eye thing?
God, the more I talk about this, the more this is actually, I think, my least favorite scene in the show. Because of what they should have done, given the information that was given.
See, and I think when you say that, you're really, you're giving too much credit to A Much Needed Talk.
Didn't we tear that one a new
Yes.
Yeah, we tore that episode.
Yeah, but that one didn't have the opportunity to be better.
Oh, it kind of did because remember that in that one, that was the one where Ruby was like, "Okay, what does this have to do with me?" And then Crow's like, "Let me tell you about something that has absolutely nothing to do with you. Let me tell you about the relics."
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is still really bad, though. Like, it's worse than I thought it was before I started even talking. Like now I'm really... Because I didn't want to think about how bad this scene was. Now I'm thinking about how bad this scene was.
Well, it's like, I'm seeing you're right. I still enjoyed it, and it's still like, I got my smirks. Nora was just being amazing as usual.
Nora was being funny, but she shouldn't have been. That's actually the point, is because, like what Media pointed out, in the previous time they had a scene like this, she was the only one to be like, wait, so why doesn't this matter more?
We're hoping that Ren was the one that was supposed to be asking those
sort of
questions.
In this episode, she's
just silent.
That's not even consistent with how she was previously. That's a problem. She should have been more concerned. Everybody should have been more concerned with everything that he said. And they just made it into a giant fucking joke. So, I mean, yeah, Nora was funny. She's never not funny to me, at least. Like, I've always enjoyed... So Sam Ireland's voice acting is always, like, some amazing over-the-top voice acting. And they can finally get her to emote properly.
Well, I mean, she was being funny, but at the same time, the things she was saying were actually kind of serious. It's just the way she was saying them that ended up.
Yeah, but they should, like, if Salem is that big of a deal, like, they should care a lot more, and they should show that to the audience at least, because the audience didn't technically know that this was the situation before this episode. That's technically a really big bomb to drop. That this is going to be a Naruto level war to end all wars thing, because that's not always something that happens. At least with Lord of the Rings, like Lord of the Rings, like that actually was a war to end all wars kind of, but they set that up. They set
Yeah.
that up well. Gandalf, you knew Gandalf was
They set it up to where the last war should have been the war to end all wars, but that one human douche just could not drop the ring.
Yeah, exactly. So they really set up that was the war to end all wars. Shows like Star Wars and Harry Potter and I'm trying to think of another good example.
Big issue is
they don't set it up as the war to end all wars, even though Harry Potter's was still pretty big. As we know from the stuff she's written afterwards and stuff she even mentioned in the show, like, again, Grindelwald's a perfect example, there's always going to be some evil to fight against. I kind of assumed that was the show that RWBY was going to be, because that's what, putting the White Fang in at all kind of implied stuff like that. Putting Raven in the way she is kind of implied that. Now we're learning that that's not the situation, and it's more of a Lord of the Rings situation, and they didn't set that up properly at all. And then even when they do finally tell you that, nobody cares. Relatively, like they're just joking around and fucking around.
I feel the big issue is there was an opportunity to set the stakes, and then no stakes were put on the grill.
Yep.
Yeah, it feels
any stakes whatsoever.
The stakes are still frozen in the freezer.
Yeah, we
just
still
got
have
hot dog.
Yeah, we still have no idea what exactly it is that Salem is like. We don't really know what it is exactly that Salem's goal is, except maybe like the destruction of humanity. But it's like, yeah, we don't know what her goal is, and it is that problem that they've pretty much had since like Volume 1, when they refused to, when they had like John give his speech about tired of being a lovable idiot, and then continued to make him a joke. They refuse to take this, like, they're not taking things seriously when they should. They're too focused on the comedy aspect of this, and I
mean, I think they have that issue with Red versus Blue. People are like, they still want it to be like a comedy kind of thing, but at the same time, they're trying to tell stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
they're not telling the story. They're not as masterful as Michael Dante DiMartino and Bryan Konietzko, because they clearly cannot balance the comedy and the seriousness, because that show did that.
I think one of the problems is that they make a lot of the stuff up as they go. Like, I'm not talking about big details. Who knows what's in Monty's Bible or whatever for the series. But as far as, like, actual dialogue exchanges go, they make that up as they go.
Yeah, like, like animation's already been done, but we're just now writing
little details. Oh, yeah, they just finished writing the script for the volume the same weekend that the premiere was.
Yeah.
Stop
working on other shows, for fuck's sake! This is such a cash cow. They can afford to put Miles and Carrie just on this show, and they can afford to hire people that can write better than they can for the other shows. There's no way they don't have that much money. There's no fucking way. So they're just
they spent it all on these really high profile voice actors to show up just once. Okay.
So can I point out another little problem real quick? How bad of a writer that Miles or Carrie, how bad of writers Miles and Carrie are. Because I remember this, the first time Osmond said this line, and then he brought it back, and they still did it grammatically incorrect. When he said, "I've made more mistakes than any man, woman, and child." That's incorrect. And then he says it again. Then he brings it back and says, "Remember when I said I made more mistakes than any man, woman, and child?" You have to say, "than every man, woman, and child," or "than any man, woman, or child."
Yeah.
You fucking retards! How do you bring that back and nobody catches it the second time? How? Oh my god! How
I'm gonna be honest.
You were writing? That is so obvious.
I'm gonna be honest. That went right over my head.
All right. I think
Jesus Christ, they suck. Also, Oscar still has no personality whatsoever. And no skin in the game still. Anybody who says that they could wait until that happened, he still has none. Yes, Aaron did an amazing job voice acting, but we still have none of Oscar's actual motivations. And we don't
have that.
That's going to lead into, like, it's probably that's kind of lead, because right now they need more Ozpin than they do Oscar, so they're like putting him to the side a little bit.
Again,
but at the same time, they're trying to set up like the base for the base for this whole two souls fighting over control of the body.
I mean,
kind of
thing. The thing is,
because like Oscar's like he's becoming Ozpin, but at the same time, he's still Oscar. He's supposed he doesn't want to.
There is no Oscar. That's the point. That's the problem. There's no Oscar there.
There's barely Ozpin there.
Yeah.
So.
Here's the thing,
we don't even know what Oscar is supposed to bring to the table.
Yeah.
It's like
what is Oscar? He's a good voice actor. That's the only. And I'm actually kind of mad that Aaron's such a good voice actor because that's the only reason people think he's an interesting character is because the voice actor makes him seem like he has more personality than he does. He knocked the whole Oscar to Ozpin thing out of the park, but there was no personality of Oscar. He was just a little bit nervous, and who wouldn't be nervous?
There is in the voice acting. There's not in the writing, though.
Yeah, that's the problem, and that's like
and
people keep saying, oh, "Oscar will get better. Oscar will get better." It's 3 episodes in, and he still hasn't. Here's
the thing. We're never gonna get that because the most important, the defining moment in Oscar's entire life was not even written.
Ozpin.
No, is when he accepted Ozpin as a reality, and they just completely skipped over that.
We were bitching about that. Yeah, we were.
They completely that is the defining moment of Oscar's entire life, and they weren't even bothered to write it into the script.
They did it off screen and.
All right, so I think we can wrap this up unless Robert has anything to say. Let's get into the theory crafting and predictions part.
Yeah, because there's a lot of that in this episode.
Yeah, we can ram into that. But if you have the floor, Robert, if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, pretty much what you said, dude. Like, yeah, Oscar. Like, I don't know. I will say this: I'm glad that Ozpin's back. I'm glad that Ozpin is, gonna play a role and he's gonna help out. Like, I think that's good. But yeah, I do agree that they made this made this scene way too silly, and when it should have been something that they should have taken it more seriously. I think Jean should have decked Oscar in the face when he realized he was in Ozpin's body. Personally, that's just the part of me that thinks Jean is amazing. But and I'm still hoping for that in the future.
Yeah, can I disagree with that real quick? Actually.
You got a minute.
I disagree that Ozpin should have come back. I think it would have been a lot more interesting if the characters had to figure everything out for themselves.
Perhaps, but I like him.
I think that would have been better, especially if they're doing this sort of like the slow dawning comprehension of how important this is. I think that would have been a lot more interesting, especially given how poorly they wrote this scene. And
perhaps
they introduced tons of consequence, more than the show's ever had, and they didn't make it a big deal. So what's the point anyway?
Yeah.
But I agree that if Ozpin's going to be back, at least they made him much more prevalent. If he has to be here, at least the fact that he's there and he doesn't really have to train, at least that makes him less of a fifth wheel.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm
glad that they're not doing the whole...
look, it's a doggo.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they're not having Oscar be built up from the ground up and stuff like that. But again, also like you said, dude, like her is just a vessel for Ozpin. So yeah. And that's my thing there. So yeah.
All right, theory crafting time. All right, so So whatever I saw the whole bit with Weiss. And how she's gonna be trying to escape in the next episode. So here's the thing. So I've come up with a few funny scenarios in my mind. So the gag that they have where it's like the sleeping guard and like the sleeping guard's holding something and they gotta like put something in the arm but then replace it with something. I just imagine like Vernal's like cuddled up with Weiss's sword and then she just shoves like a broomstick in there and pulls it out to replace it. And then so here's what I see. This is how I foresee Weiss's escape going. It's gonna go one of two ways, and I like both, but I prefer one over the other. So the first one is that she escapes, and then like as she's running out, either A, Vernal is waiting for her in the woods, or B, Raven is waiting for her in the woods and stops her. Or she runs out to the road, and as she's running out into the road, she almost gets ran over by Blake. I mean, by Blake, by Yang. and then
Oh,
they
look.
they have that funny dialogue too. Also, that would be great. I kind of like the idea. Well, I don't expect Weiss to willingly want to work with the Bandit Clan, but it feels like this is something I brought up in Volume 4. Is like I kind of want them to work with people that they don't like. So that's kind of what I'm going to start out. But if y'all want to like start throwing things out there,
so here's an idea I had. I think they might be testing her. I think was it Sock that brought that up, that they might be testing her?
I think
that was you guys. That was you guys.
I think I thought about that one.
Robert.
I'm pretty certain I brought it up though because it does sound like a test.
Yeah, you brought it up. We agreed with you. We'd agreed.
Like, shame that you're a Schnee. You could have done well out here. Like they might be just testing her. I really want her to just end up having this begrudging
going tribal.
Yeah, going tribal, and then I might have said this in the last podcast, but like she reunites with Yang or Ruby or whichever one gets there first, and she's just like, "I've seen things."
Yeah.
No, it was in
different outfit covered in prison tattoos and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we have to remember, like something.
You've only been out here like 2 weeks. How did this happen?
Something has to happen because you remember something has to happen with Yang and Weiss and to be brought into the same kind of like understanding because remember they still don't know about the whole Salem and the Maiden things. They don't know.
Yeah, neither does Blake.
Those two are out of the loop.
I look forward to whenever Yang and Weiss get brought up to speed. I look forward to whenever Lake gets brought up to speed and what like actually is going on. I like how Media's clutching his fake gun and talking to someone. He's about to get swatted. We're just gonna hear a bunch of flashbangs and then a bunch of armed men storming the room and just tasering his butthole.
Yeah. Now someone asked if someone was still here.
Oh.
But I mean, like, I look forward to the next time we see Weiss, and I hope we see Weiss in the next episode. I hope we see.
We better see Weiss in this episode.
Yeah,
it's been in every episode.
Well, so right now it's kind of where like Crow was at towards the end of the last volume, where like this is the most pertinent situation, and so we kind of need her, a little bit of her in every episode until this gets resolved.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? I had another theory. Oh, the whole winter thing. And this goes in with 2 of the scenes that we got this episode. I really do not think Ironwood pulled everyone out.
Yeah, he didn't.
Pull all the official people out, but you leave all the unofficial people in.
You think about one of the last lines he had last volume, where he was talking about not letting this happen again.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't trust Leo to be able to do anything about it. Yeah, he's I think he learned from volume 3, and he's got like a bunch of people still in the city, off the books, ready to spring into action whenever Salem attacks.
There's just a bunch of like
and
Crow just chilling out in a random cave.
And Crow knows where to find them, and I think a lot of them are going to get recruited into Crow's little mission thing. And I think one of those people is going to be Winter.
Yeah.
Oh god, if Winter's in disguise and she just has like her hair dyed and something in there, and Crow's like,
are you just thinking of Snowbird shit?
I know that movie.
Yeah, it's just like
I recognize that butt shape.
He's just like, hey, Winter. It's like, how'd you know it was me? Just like looks
like
at
I've seen you naked before. You don't think I'd recognize you just because you have a wig on?
It's like I can tell a lady just by her skirt who it belongs to. There was a running. Okay, so
Winter's like, I don't even wear a skirt.
Okay, here's a gag. So in RWBY Co, there was a gag that was a green text gag that was going on after Amber was attacked by Cinder. and how like only her face was blurred out, and it's like okay, it's like we could figure out who's behind this attack. You need to get all the female members lined up, and I just need to look at all
Oh, yeah,
of
I
them
remember
from
that
the
one.
waist down. I'll be able to figure it out that way, I promise. But and then with whenever it comes to it, because the way that it sounds like with Blake's storyline is like, ha ha ha, joke's on you, Ilya. We were already planning to leave to begin with. So I hope they expedite the process of them leaving. I could honestly see Blake trying to like walk around and like garner support for like the expedition that they do, which I'm not looking forward to that.
Here's another
Please
thing.
no. Please God no.
I think
get out of there.
between Crow definitely recruiting some huntsmen for this mission, and Blake probably recruiting people to help the Faunus, to help the Menagenarians fight in Mistral.
Australians.
We might be getting a bunch of new characters.
Or we could just be getting. Oh, true. There's that. Yeah, there's
Another
that.
coffee situation.
Mm-hmm.
Really hope not.
Well, they're probably just gonna be throwaways, just like cannon fodder. Honestly.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, maybe just some
Maybe
cool looking guys.
we get a
that-
bunch
Still,
Let's
this
go.
fandom.
Hey, this is an opportunity for more brown anime waifus to show up. I'm okay with
You mean to show up and get shanked, right?
plus no. My heart can only take so much.
I mean, Sienna was the best one yet. No questions
hot.
asked. Yeah, Sienna was the best.
Yeah.
So that's a shame.
I mean, next episode we might get like actually like a Tyrion and the whole team, like with Salem scene, like a Tyrion scene, plus like Cinder meeting up, Cinder, Mercury, Emerald.
I'm of the opinion now that Cinder's going to get to them before.
Oh, absolutely. And here's the thing. This is another reason why it's up. So with this episode, it kind of set up that we might not get Ranger or Blake for a while.
I think media cut out there.
Yeah, he said absolutely,
Woo,
and then we didn't know what was absolute.
Absolutely nothing.
Can you hear me now? Because on my screen and stuff, it's still all good. Like I haven't cut out at all.
No, you cut out on our. Oh, you're gone now.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
What?
Yeah, you're good. Absolutely something.
Literally, the title of this podcast: Unforeseen Complications.
God. No, seriously, on my screen, nothing's changed. So, where did I start on that?
You said we only heard absolutely.
Absolutely.
But what was said before that?
Nothing.
Because I completely forgot where I was going.
Cinder
yeah.
beats everyone.
Oh yeah,
to
Cinder
the
beats
Bandit Clan.
absolutely. Because here's the thing, and this episode kind of set up that we might not get Ranger or Blake for a while because they're going to be recruiting and training and stuff. And we're probably going to get Yang next episode because she's the only one we haven't seen since the beginning.
Yeah.
So Cinder is already on her way to where Crow told Lionheart the Bandit Clan was.
Yeah.
So, assuming Crow didn't lie to him, Cinder's already on her way, and Team Ranger's not even starting for another month? Is that right? Like, or what is Ranger going to do with this? Is it just going to be Crow and these random huntsmen that go to the Bandit Clan? Is it going to be all of them? Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's the whole time issue. Maybe they're at training and then they go. It's not a.
Maybe they train on the way there, but like here's my issue. Here's the thing that I could see I could honestly see happen where it's like Crow and hired mercenaries go to the Bandit Clan place. They find out that the Bandit Clan's place is a burned out wreck because there's a big fight or something, or they're just like, screw it, we're striking camp and leave no evidence behind. They just like pack everything up and light everything on fire and leave. I could also see, this would actually be kind of interesting, is that Blake's sitting there riding her motorcycle, and then off in the distance she Fuck, I keep doing this. God damn it.
Don't insult Yang. Don't insult Yang like that, Hype.
So Yang is sitting there riding her motorcycle, and she's like, "Look at me, I'm riding my motorcycle. I'm so cool." And then she sees like Cinder and company walking around. It's like, maybe I should follow. But then again,
in a motorcycle where she's probably traveling faster than them.
Exactly. But I mean, like,
No, just drives
I'll let
by,
you
like,
get back to what you're
puddle.
saying, media, though. But it's like I really hope that if we don't get the Raven and Yang and RWBY conversation, I feel that's going to be a severe oversight to this episode.
Yeah, missed opportunity of this volume.
Yeah. Even just the RWBY Raven thing.
Yeah, yeah, I think the Panic Clan, so here's my theory, this is more of an overall theory. I think things are going to go down into Bandit Clan and at the halfway point of this volume. Like, whether Ranger is there or not, I don't know. Because right now, a lot of their stuff is up in the air because apparently they're just going to be training now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like...
Not sure how I feel about that, which means I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, it feels like that was, I don't know. Kind of feels like maybe that should have been what Volume 4 was for. Like, the whole 6 to 8 month time skip should have been for. So.
Yeah, see, for me, it's kind of like they you know what, more insults to Miles and Carrie, of course. My thoughts are that they're basically thinking, so many of these shows that we watch and things like, we're surprised how fast that, the main characters get good at fighting. Star Wars kind of did that with Luke, and Avatar does that with Aang. How did the main characters get so good? We're not going to fuck that up. We're going to show them training. Look how smart we are. It's like...
Except that's what the first 3 volumes were supposed to be for, and every character got actively worse at fighting in between their trailers and Volume 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Among other issues that having now their training presents. So, yeah. Hey, Miles and Carrie, guess what? There's a reason why they don't spend a lot of time doing that in shows that are in movies that are actually good. Maybe you should be like them instead.
Man, Avatar. Rewatching Avatar has lit a fire under your ass.
It has.
Like, you're just like,
I mean,
my eyes have been open.
Media can reiterate how fucking amazing. I mean, it's not even media's favorite because he prefers Batman the animated series, but I mean, Avatar is still a fucking masterclass in how to make a show, and not just animated shows. It's how do you make a show? It's great. It's how you tell a story. And so if they can do it, if those 2 white guys can do it, then so can these 2 Texas white guys. But they obviously can't. That's the difference. So there's no excuse, okay? You can't just say, oh, they're Miles and Carrie, it's good for them. No. That's not how it works. You can't say, like, oh, it's good for Trump. No. Or it's good for Hillary. No. Both of them still suck, too. All right?
Yeah.
Were you saying something, Robert?
Is it my turn to give some theories? Because
we're just freeforming right now.
Yeah,
I think I'm connected.
Yeah, you are. You're coming in clear.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Your camera's frozen.
Out.
Your camera's frozen, but your audio's fine.
We can at least hear you.
My audio's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
well
just
then,
throw it out there. Put your dick
okay,
on the
then I'll give. No, thank you. But I'll put out the theories that I have then. So I think that I do agree that I think Weiss is probably gonna sneak out and like Raven or Vernal is gonna show up and just be all like, congratulations, you passed. You're in. And she's like, I don't even want to be able to. They're like, tough luck, we like you. Or something like that.
Well, you
have summons. It's like, your power's too good.
Or something like that. Yeah, they're just like, we think you're awesome.
Welcome to the Court of Miracles.
Something like that. Like So yeah, I think they're gonna. Sorry. So yeah, I think they'll probably. My fingers are still crossed for Bandit Weiss. So yeah, and I do think that the next episode is probably gonna have Yang either arriving at the Bandit camp or maybe hopefully getting convinced to go to the Bandit camp. Otherwise, Volume 4 was really weird. But
it just starts with Yang being
Oh
all
my
angry
God.
and dejected as the random guy's just holding onto her onto the motorcycle.
pretty funny. She's like dragging him. She's like, "I'm not. No, that's not where I'm going." She's like, "Look, you want to go, right?" Anyway, but
This thing doesn't have a sidecar. It's like, don't worry, there's enough room for me to fit on there.
or something like that. Yeah. And so I think that's gonna happen. But yeah, I think, yeah, hopefully the training doesn't take too long and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think Jean's going, or I don't know, and I'm still hoping that we get a scene where Jean is pissed off at Ozpin because I don't know, I don't know, hoping we find out more about Silver Eyes. Also, yeah, I think Crow's going to grab some more huntsmen. I think one of them might end up being Pyrrha's mother because people have been asking for that for years. I don't know if it's necessary.
Please, God, no. But I understand why you said that.
Pyrrha's older sister that looks really similar to her and has
I
the same
hate
taste
that
in
theory.
men.
No,
It's,
that'd be
her
so
name's
stupid.
Peronica or something.
I wouldn't mind if she's voiced by Jen Brown. Like, I like Jen Brown, but
See,
like if she
I
just does
just-
her
I-
Carolina voice
I
or something like that.
kinda
Anyway,
don't.
I just don't
But-
think we just don't need any more of that.
yeah.
no.
We just don't need
We don't
it.
need
There's
Pyrrha
no reason.
2.0.
Yeah, there's no
I
reason.
guess not.
If we're gonna
Yeah.
get a
Give us-
2.0, give us a Penny 2.0.
Give us fucking Penny 2.0. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, there.
exactly.
Yeah,
Because
How about
that
Pyrrha
you can.
2.0?
fingers still
Yeah,
crossed for that.
because at least with Penny you can tread some like Blade Runner thematic ground
Yeah,
or
and
something.
then-
I will say this though, like them wanting to like even if it's just a throwaway line where it was something that even happened like off screen. Like it said as bad as much as we hate whenever things happen off screen, where it's like, oh, you know, we told, you know, we visit Pyrrha's parents and we told them what happened. That was it. Like I feel like they should at least like it would be nice for that to be included, but if we don't get it, I'm not going to be upset. Like I wouldn't be like it'd be nice just like, you know, they have a line saying it's like, yeah, we sent a letter to Pyrrha's family about what actually happened. Now we're in Mistral and we trust the postal service here.
yeah, or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But actually, something I could see if they, I don't know, given last episode, if I want them to even attempt this, but possibly if they want to keep going along the same vein as Bossing Say, that maybe Crow brings in a bunch of huntsmen and they're basically like ambushed by the White Fang or something like that. And so they're like, crap, we have no choice. We just got to get to Raven and her gang and try to take this place back before everything
yeah.
goes to hell.
I would like
I could
Crow's
see
trying to
maybe
recruit
that-
people and then they pick up on the fact that there might be like an attack going on or something.
There are no White
Yeah.
Fang in Bossing Say. There are no White Fang in Bossing Say. There are no White Fang
Yeah.
in Bossing Say.
Well, I'm just talking about like the last episode of season 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender, where like they have all these generals coming in. They're all like, "Yeah, we're gonna go and we're going to invade the Fire Nation on the day of Black Sun," and then they all get snatched by the Dai Li and stuff like that. Like, I think that would be an interesting, under Azula's orders and stuff like that. Like, I think that would be an interesting thing to have happen. So,
Agreed. Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind. I think that would be something. Then it's all like crap, and yeah, like at that point, Ozpin and Crow are all like, okay, crap. Ranger, gear up. We're going to the bandits. We're gonna, and like we got no choice. We got to take Mistral back or something like that. Like I think that would be interesting. But yeah,
Agreed.
and then I don't know, just get Blake to Mistral already, please, for the love of all that is holy.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sooner the
Yeah.
better.
So I wanted to get into a theory about Ozpin and Salem.
Hit me.
Is this
I
Ruby
think-
related at all? Media? Hold on one second. Is
Well-
this Ruby related at all? Answer honestly. Answer honestly. I'm looking right at you.
If it's a theory that Ozpin's actually the bad guy and they just kill Ozpin. And
well, no,
Ozpin,
that was a theory from last episode.
I would enjoy that.
But
I said,
this theory, like, it kind of does tie into what my theory has always been with Salem, which in turn is also how I had it in RWBY Beyond. But this is kind of so this is the theory.
Spit it out.
Ozpin didn't just fail at stopping Salem. He failed at stopping Salem from becoming the kind of being that she is. Like, that was his failure.
That makes sense.
And that maybe he's now bound to her basically as long
Yeah,
as she
yeah.
exists or something like that. Yeah. That he's going to keep reincarnating.
That feel when she's his final Horcrux.
Oh. Ooh.
I kind of like the idea. What was it that you had where it was like the Salem was in your fanfic? It was Salem was like the daughter or something of the
the apprentice of the original Winter Maiden.
Ah, that was it.
And then she became the second Winter Maiden and just went power mad.
I still like the idea though that they like used to be like lovers or something, and then things just went terribly wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Also, yeah, I think we can safely assume that Ozpin was the King of Vale and maybe the Wizard.
Yeah,
I don't know about the Wizard. I think the Wizard predates this.
Yeah, the Wizard predates because he says I think it was like Volume 3. He was like talking about like.
Well, that line is vague.
That story was before even I was born.
Well, no, the line is that story's been around since even I was a child. Which for me, and this is how I wrote it in RWBY on Origins. He actually was a child when this happened. Like, he was like 4 or 5 years old when this happened, and so
yeah.
Like, and then I also had it to where like Ozpin was an orphan, and then it was actually the Spring Maiden that helped like take care of him, and then that's how he like.
Oh no, Nora's gonna become Ozpin. Fuck.
Huh?
What?
Oh, because she's an orphan. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Now it'd be Ren.
Yeah, just as bad.
Actually, they might be building up. So I don't think this is a theory anymore, but this was a theory I had like in Volume 1 and 2, more so with Volume 2. It felt like Ozpin was setting Jean up to be the next headmaster.
Just let him in.
Yeah. Which maybe they should have done. Maybe they should have stuck him in Jean's head instead of Oscar's if they really needed him. I don't know.
Oh,
I think I would have liked that. I would have liked that.
That would have been very cool.
Because he doesn't like Ozpin, so that would have been much more interesting.
I don't like you, but I've seen the things you've seen, so we have to work together now. We'll put aside our differences.
That would have been so much more goddamn interesting.
Yeah,
that'd have been amazing.
This is something I've been saying for a while, that they should be they should have if they really needed to, like, if Ozpin's knowledge and information was something that only he could spread by word of mouth or by his own mind, then they should have stuck him in a pre-established character's mind, like Jean's, or maybe even Crow's. Have some funny lines.
Crow is kind of what I did in RWBY on, like, at the end of RWBY on Vale, when all the, like, headmasters and stuff are basically done. Salem's dead and Ozpin is dead, and they're, like, dead. Crow takes Ozpin's place as the headmaster until they find the RWBY version of Oscar, who is like Ozpin's illegitimate son, and then Crow like takes Oscar as an apprentice and makes it to where he becomes the headmaster after Crow.
Yeah, because Crow even said at the end of Volume 3, "I'm gonna have to take over for Ozpin." Just stick Ozpin in his head. And you get some funny lines of Ozpin complaining about Crow's drinking habits.
Or just like,
why didn't they do something like that instead?
Yeah. So like, oh my gosh, what are you drinking? I don't know. What were you drinking all those years?
What I would say
this isn't alcohol. You've been pretending the entire time.
It's actually gasoline.
No, it's even worse. It's just like Crow comes back into control and he takes a drink. It's like, what is this? What is this vile substance? It's hot cocoa. What's wrong with you? What have you done?
Or what's that?
Ethylated spirits.
Well, no. What's that fan comic where Crow's like sick and he's just like, what did you feed me? What is this poison? And then Summer Rose is like, it's water. It's water, Crow.
Yeah, it's water, Crow. Yeah. Yeah, or I think that would have been funny. Yeah, Ozpin just complaining about Crow drinking, and he's all like, "I know you weren't really drinking coffee. I heard the ice."
He's like, "Joke's on you. I'm drinking iced tea."
Can I give my theories real quick? I guess.
Yeah,
Yes.
Go to
Yeah,
town.
I'm done.
We're
Sorry.
just
Go for it.
we're literally just throwing it out there.
Yeah, we're
I
free
think
for
we're
it.
pretty
Alright,
much done here. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So my theory is, can Renora just kiss already? Because
That's not a theory. That's a wish.
that's it. That's all.
That's
I
a
care about.
demand, actually. That's a
I
demand.
was-
Oh,
There's plenty of
so
guys.
dude, I got a question for you, dude.
Okay, sure.
How cute does Ruby and Nora look together?
Sugar Rush.
Oh,
They were pretty cute.
extremely. I can't.
Like,
even
I am
argue with that.
loving the way they are playing off each other in this volume.
Oh, adorable as fuck. I mean, I'm Renora as fuck, but I know.
Like, I love Ruby's just what the f face every time Nora opens her mouth.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
It's like-
it's one of the few things that's keeping me going right now.
You know what? Whenever you talk about
No, Sugar Rush, and also I love Wreck-It Ralph, and I love Vanellope, and I love this Sugar Rush cheesy K-pop song. So I ship the fuck out of Sugar Rush also.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing though. So there's an image that comes to mind and gets thrown around on RWBY Co. And it's an image of it's a cutout image of like Nora's face, and it just says bisexual ranger orgy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
and
I see that so much.
that also covers last volume's joke ship, Silent Night, or martial arcs.
Martial arts.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
martial
that was
arts.
something we brought up too. Also, it's like that sort of hug is like the hug.
That is not a bro hug.
Yeah.
Eh.
Nah,
I don't know
that
why
was
they did
that was
I'm
was
leaving that one alone. I'm leaving
that
that
was
one.
it was a joke ship, and they were like, let's see if we can get away with this. And I feel like they're doing the same thing with Ruby and Nora.
Here's hoping Garden Rose is this volume's joke ship.
Well, I was gonna say, what do they do?
Oh yeah, Garnet Rose is this volume's joke ship.
I was hoping we wouldn't talk about it and we just sweep it under the rug. But
I'm sorry.
No, I don't
I'm sorry.
No, we have to.
No!
Forget I said anything. Forget I said anything.
As
Too
much
late.
as I-
You
as
pressed the
much-
button.
As much as I
You don't
despise
open up
it,
the can of worms.
they're being very obvious about it, and I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know what they expect to get out of it.
Although,
If
I
they really
would-
think it's a good ship, they're fucking retards, and I
yeah,
will.
it's a creepy ship, but
If
I would.
Rose Garden somehow happens, and I don't get Renora kissing, I might stop watching the show because that's just so
Damn.
dumb. And if they don't fix Blake, all of
Yeah.
that together, it's like, why would I bother watching the show anymore? All of that's just terrible.
Yeah,
There's
so
no reason to
I
watch
would
anymore.
like it. I would like, and this is coming from a massive Lancaster shipper. I am fine if Oscar gets this like kind of Ruby Senpai relationship. Like he just gets into her or whatever. Not literally.
Chicka wow wow.
Not literally. I'm looking condescendingly at the part of the screen where High Powered would usually be sitting, except he's balcony posting.
Balcony posting.
But
alien pop up.
maybe even like a one-side crush. It's creepy because of Ozpin, and Ozpin was always gonna make it creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
And they
okay.
need to,
Especially
literally-
since
and now it's even creepier. And they need to make I don't know.
especially
Maybe
since
if Oscar becomes as sympathetic as Jean, but he's not off to a good start. So
No, he's not. I want this to happen, and I think only I think only Robert will actually get what I'm going to say here. But the relationship I want to have happen is Draco Malfoy and Hermione Granger from a Harry Potter musical.
Oh right, that very awkward, unrequited love. Yeah.
Yeah, that I want Oscar to be Laura Lopez's Malfoy, and I want Ruby to be Bonnie Grusin's Hermione Granger.
So
That's
she
what
just
I want.
and she just has no idea that he has.
She
a
has no
crush on
idea,
her.
and then once he says something, she's like, "I can do better." That's what I want. I want
Yeah,
that, and
I
that
can do
will be
better
hilarious.
right over there. I'm into bloods.
By the way, all you guys on the podcast and watching this podcast that have not watched a Harry Potter musical and a Harry Potter sequel, watch them right
It's
now.
on
'cause
YouTube.
It's free on YouTube, and they're fucking hilarious. Trust me.
It
If you
is-
watched,
it
if you've
is really
even just watched Harry Potter, you will laugh your fucking ass off at these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the relationship I would want.
And we didn't really touch on this when we should have. But another reason why it's kind of creepy is Oscar and Ozpin are not going to be separate entities forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oscar
they
will
straight
eventually
up said
merge
that they are going to eventually merge into one soul and one person.
Yeah.
Which
and
on
it's
one
not
hand
going
that
to
kind of
be
makes it a little less creepy because Ozpin himself won't be in Oscar's head; he will become Oscar. But on the other hand, it's just like that's always kind of a gray area for me.
Yeah, well, because it's the whole thing.
The
It's
thing,
like
though, his
sure.
mind is-
Go ahead.
Well, his mind is his Oscar. From what it's looking like, I don't think it's going to be Ozpin getting absorbed into Oscar. It's going to be Oscar's mind getting absorbed into Ozpin and all his experiences.
That's what I think.
Because the one with the greater
that
experience.
would ruin it.
Yeah, that's going to be really weird. He's going to have that he's going to have that Shannon McCormick like voice 24/7. And so with maybe a little bit of like, I don't know, reluctance or something like that. But yeah, that's going to be weird. And by the way, you guys were talking about it earlier and I was having connection problems, but kudos to Aaron, just to add on, kudos to Aaron Dismuke. I was listening to him talking and I was all like, wait, that's not Shannon, that's Aaron. Wow. Like I was very impressed with that. So yeah.
Yeah, we all agree that unfortunately he's doing a very good job as,
And he's wasted. Yeah.
I don't want him to do a good job as Oscar, but he is doing a good job, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I want to like Oscar. I've warmed up slightly to him, but I need more.
Yeah, I've warmed up to him this episode.
I sure as fuck haven't.
That's for sure.
You know, this is me and Oscar right now. The way I feel about Oscar right now is the way I felt about Blake in Volume. And unfortunately, Blake has regressed back to how I initially felt about her at the beginning of Volume 4.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I went back to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, my feelings for Oscar are kind of the same as Blake. Like, I want him to be a good character. I want him to work out. I want him to have his own personality. Honestly, I might not mind Garden Rose if I start to like him as much as I like Jean and if White Knight happens.
You watch your filthy mouth right now.
I would be okay with White Knight.
I'm okay with White Knight, but
I agree with all of those things. I agree with all of those things.
Right now, he's not. Right now, I don't like him. So yeah,
that's why I hate him so much. If anything, he's worse because they have so many opportunities to make him actually a fucking character, and they haven't. They've wasted every single fucking opportunity they have. How do they keep fucking that up? Like, he's got an amazing voice actor, and he's actually got a pretty cool character design. I love his eyes. Like, I want to fall in love with that face, but I can't, and I'd be fine with Rose Garden if it wasn't so creepy. And two, he was a likable fucking character. If he was, then I'd be fine with it because I only care about Renora at the end of the day. And yeah, I'd actually
that feel when Rose Garden goes the same route as it did in Just Act Casually.
Exactly.
I wouldn't mind.
That's pretty much what's gonna be. But the only argument against that is just like the whole thing between like Rose Garden by itself, which is Oscar and RWBY. It's only like 2 years. It's not that big of a difference.
No,
honestly. But because of the whole Ozpin situation, and because Ozpin is so old, it's literally just the only complication with that is like, what's the difference between that and anyone who ships said character with a vampire?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And anyone who's lived for centuries and thousands of years, after a certain while, age just stops being an issue. You're too old, but you're too old to care.
And I'd be totally good with White Knight. Also, just saying. Totally good with White Knight.
Yeah, I'm okay with White Knight. I'm okay with Rose Garden, but my end game is.
I've contemplated writing a White Knight one shot or something along those lines.
I'd honestly, because White Knight would actually make sense at this point, given the character arcs that both Weiss and Jean have had recently. That would actually be totally awesome. I'm fine with that too, especially because of the whole thing that the way they write RWBY is like. RWBY doesn't really need a relationship still, and I'm not the kind of person to usually say that. I'm usually like, ship all of them.
You're like, Renora, please.
Because I want all the ships to happen all at the same time together.
But I don't. But RWBY, like, if Lancaster or Rose Garden's going to happen, they need to wait still another season or two. I think.
Yeah, it's not. It's a little too soon.
They need to wait for RWBY to be ready.
And this is coming from somebody who has been with somebody since she was Ruby's age when the show started. So
15.
I still think it could wait, but that's why White Knight would work, kind of also, because I think either of them could use somebody right now, to be perfectly honest. So
here's a fun idea. So I think this would actually be a pretty decent way of. This is like an edited version of how I initially said of how to fix Oscar. Is that whenever Oscar runs into Yang, he sees that he has a robot arm, and then Ozpin in his head's like, oh yeah, she lost the arm, in the fall of Beacon, and then that could be like that could give him more motivations, like too. It's like, oh, I don't want like this to happen to anyone too, and I feel that I hope what we see more now too is like, especially what we liked, like what I personally liked. Even though it's going to sound really shitty, though, is in episode 2, it's like, oh look, there's civilians, they're dying over there. The Grimm are killing people. Like they're actually doing what they said they're doing. They're killing people, because then it actually makes the Grimm like an actual threat. Yeah. So I feel like that would be a good way to help make Oscar's character more likable. Is like he gets invested. I feel that a good way to get him invested is to see like, oh, like the actual like bad things that are happening, because like he hasn't actually experienced any bad things. Like he's been like, it's been assumed he's been told all this sort of bad stuff that will happen, but he hasn't actually seen it. He needs to see something bad happen, or someone that like like Yang who lost her arm. Yeah, he needs to actually see like someone who's been through the shit, and that could.
And maybe that would be a good thing though, if that's where like I said, Jean grills him and stuff like that about what happened to Pyrrha, and like maybe that's a moment where Oscar can realize, okay, this really means something to this guy. This is a guy who Ozpin, who's become hurt because of Ozpin's, actions, and this is a guy who's lost someone very close to him, because of this fight and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, so like that would be that's a good. I'll let you finish. I'll let you go real quick. So yeah, as Robert said, that's a good way to put it. Like I kind of hope that John does like try to confront. He just like while they're trading, John's just like, but why Pyrrha? Just ask that question like to Ozpin. Okay, your turn, Sock.
Well, it's about what you guys were just talking about. It's like from what you remember, we got that whole teaser trailer for volume 5 and whatnot.
Yeah,
so we've seen everything in that trailer. We've so far within these past 3 episodes, we've seen and heard everything except one thing. And what you guys were just talking about reminded me of that. Oscar was saying, like, I always wanted something different, or like I'm just gonna paraphrase. He wanted something different, but not like this. Like this is not what he imagined. Like we haven't that is something that is probably going to be happening.
That would be awesome. Actually, I would love to see that conversation, because that would make Oscar more fucking likable. He's still never I don't think he could ever be a great character, because to get a character right, you got to get them right from the beginning. Let's be honest. And that's what Avatar did, and that's what this show doesn't do. Star Wars did that right, as we learned, like even with Luke. They actually got
the character they really want Oscar to be.
Yeah, and they did a fucking shit job of that, right? Again, if you want to add a new character, just watch The Blind Bandit, because that's how you add a new character to a show and make them a fan favorite instantaneously.
Toph is waifu.
Toph is
amazing.
Toph was my, and I said this in our Avatar podcast, Toph was my first and only ever waifu. First and only one.
I have a hair waifus.
My first and only real celebrity crush was actually somebody from the Andy Griffith Show. That's how old school I am.
Mine was Princess Leia's in her bikini outfit. That's how basic I am.
Fan service Leia. But the point is, like, if they had that scene, and because I would imagine what would happen is that Oscar would hear what's going on too, and Oscar would be like, hey, yeah, you didn't tell me about this. What the fuck did you do, man? Like, what the hell? Yeah. Why are you being an asshole?
Yeah, because
what did you do to
Ozpin has literally sent people to their death.
Right. And that would make, Oscar so much more sympathetic, because then he'd be relating to the actual characters. That would be so interesting. That would make him more sympathetic. automatically, if he started to question Ozpin and sided with Team Ranger, that would be fantastic.
And that is what I want. I want him to do things that Ozpin won't. Like, I want him to say, you know what? Forget you, Ozpin. You tried this. You failed. I'm doing it differently.
Like, stop being so goddamn passive. Do something.
Yeah, exactly. I am getting in on this fight, and I'm going to do something about it because, exactly. You're too passive. This didn't work. I need to be different.
Yeah, he's like, I want Oscar to be. I feel the best way for Oscar to like start warming up is like I want him to actually like befriend. Like I want Oscar to befriend the members of Team Ranger.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel that's the easiest avenue of doing it.
Yeah.
And, like during a trading sequence, like Oscar and John have some like alone time while RWBY's like checking up on her comics and eating cookies. Like John just throws it out there. It's like it's. But why
her
here?
freaking alley.
Yeah. So I mean, that would be that seems to be the easiest path to soften our opinion on Oscar.
I want to like him. I mean, I will always say he can't. They fucked him up so badly, and I didn't.
And the thing is, I don't remember if this ended up making it into the highlight reel, but once upon a time, you actually did like Oscar.
I've always heard him call him Farm Fuckboy.
In our very first podcast, he was like, "Oh yeah, I like Oscar. I'm interested to see where this is going."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm saying
and then it went nowhere.
It's kind of like a first.
And then it skipped over his entire character arc and just went into Ozpin mode.
Well, it's kind of like a first date. It's like a first blind date. You're like, oh yeah, she's hot. I like her. Exchange pleasantries. Okay, cool. I like her. Oh, bitch. Fuck.
I used to
go back.
I used to like Blake for crying out loud. Like I don't want to hate any of them. I want to like them. That was the thing. Like when I went through watching Avatar again, The Last Airbender, not the blue bullshit. I used to hate Katara, and then I watched through Katara this time, and I was like, holy shit, I actually really like Katara. She was very consistent and well written the entire time. So I want to like characters. It's not like I want to dislike them. I ended Avatar basically with the only character I still didn't like was May. That's it. It's the only character I never liked. And even she has her redeeming parts. She still was, but I mean, she had more screen time by the end of the show probably, but she had more redeeming parts to her than Oscar does at this point. So,
yeah. All right. If you have any more, I think we'll do a few more theories, and then let's dust off the episode predictions, and then we'll wind down after that. Sounds good.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I've got one. What do you all think about Crescent Rose? They've stated it twice this volume about how RWBY is without her weapon, and they also mentioned something bad about Neo.
Oh my god, I really
Crescent Rose is getting destroyed this volume, guys. I'm calling it right now.
I don't care about that. I just want the guy who makes the character prediction chart to have a character chart for Crescent Rose and it have death flags. That's all I care about. That's all I want. I don't care.
I'm calling it now, though.
I want that.
You heard it here.
This is what I actually want to happen. Is that Crescent Rose breaks and then Crow's like take it and he throws his like weapon at RWBY and she's like,
RWBY
okay.
Maybe.
I mean, here's the thing. I think Ren needs an upgrade more than.
This is true.
Nice.
Ren just needs to like click both of them together. It's like, look, I have a submachine gun now. Rep. As he's sitting there running around shooting it.
It's like when Ren does more damage with the regular knife than he does with his two.
He's done more with that knife than he's ever done. He did more with the fucking leaks than he's ever done with his actual weapons.
Oh god,
he did.
Oh god, if the
I wish those were cucumbers, by the way. That would have been so funny.
If the fight between like Hazel and Ren and Nora happens, and then he gets in like a good few hits in, like, oh my, I've been disarmed. He's like, It's like Hazel's like, I got you, and Red's like, no, you don't. Pulls out his knife, and then he actually gets a good hit or two in, and then proceeds to get like proceeds to get his arm broken or something afterwards.
That knife does work.
I mean, I think let's. If anyone else has anything else to say, speak now. But let's fire up the let's dust off the predictions, and then we will go.
Okay.
Ren needs less shitty weapons.
Yeah. I'm just gonna let you know, like, death flags raised for Gira. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, big time, big time.
Oh god, I hope Gira does not die. I would be sad.
Like, I'm calling. Like, it's just. I'm just saying. Like, they are super raised. Like, they're making him. They're gonna make him out to be some kind of martyr, and which is gonna drive the Faunus to actually actually join up.
Maybe.
Be like an actual anti-White Fang thing.
All right, so Media, you get to go first in your episode predictions.
Episode predictions.
Let's keep this simple. So we'll do from here to 7 in just like a gross overview, and then we'll do our best to figure out what actually is going to go on for the second half of this season.
Yeah, okay.
That's
So
we'll just predict the next. Let's just predict till 7. Let's do that.
Let's
keep it
till
simple.
7.
Okay.
Because we have no clue what the fuck's going on after that.
No.
Yeah, that's uncharted territory, Mike could say.
Yeah. It's a secret mission, an uncharted planet.
We must explore.
So next episode, I think we're gonna get a little bit of Weiss and Yang, and I think Yang is going to reach the Bandit Clan. And it's gonna end with her like getting to the Bandit Clan and meeting Raven and being like, "Well then, this is happening now."
I'm here to collect my child support.
You got your cigarettes yet?
I'm here for those cigarettes.
And then so episode 5, I think we'll be back to Ranger and Blake. Ranger will be training. Blake will be rallying, and Crow will be drunk, hitting on a bunch of huntresses. Then episode 6.
Winter.
Then episode 6, I think we're gonna get all 4 girls, and it's gonna be Yang and Weiss reuniting. Yeah, Yang and Weiss reuniting. Blake heading off to Mistral, and Ranger heading off to the Bandit Clan, and it's going to end with Cinder and her team arriving at the Bandit Clan as well. Then episode 7, things start going down, and I think I said this in the first podcast, but I think that Raven is going to be like, well, I have my daughter and her friend here, and I also have Salem's little cronies here. They both want my help, but I can only really help one of them because they want my help against each other. So we're gonna have tryouts. And then that's where we're gonna get the first where we're gonna get our first real fight, and it's gonna be a rematch between Yang and Mercury, and then also Weiss and Emerald. And Cinder's not gonna fight yet because that would be really unfair.
It's almost cheating.
Yes, that would definitely be cheating.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
I mean, Cinder vaporized Ozpin. What's Yang gonna do?
And she also vaporized Pyrrha too.
Somehow less impressive.
Bonfire lit.
Yeah, bonfire lit. Okay, my predictions are pretty much in line with Media's. I will say for episode 4, we're going to get Weiss and Yang. We're probably going to get some bad guy talk. Maybe like Salem doing managerial stuff with Salem and company. Team Seaman minus the C will minus the N will show up. They'll show up in one of the later episodes. Episode 5, all 4 girls. Blake trying to do a bake sale to get people to go out on the expedition to Mistral.
Okay, I would actually like that.
Come on now.
No, seriously, like, it would legit add personality to Blake if we just found out that she kind of likes cooking.
They'll sell Bella booties.
Or even if she can't
That's the name of their Girl Scout cookies.
No, they're just gonna sell like pinup photos of Callie.
Son's gonna buy all of them.
No, Son took the pictures of those photos. But I would like to see whenever the messenger that was sent to Haven show up and like do some talking, or maybe like just in like a scene like, oh, some random like Faunus person is walking and just gets like instantly murked. I kind of like. I don't know how I feel about Raven entertaining the idea of working with Raven.
You mean Salem?
Wait, what?
No, yeah, and I'm sorry. I don't know how I feel about the idea of Raven working with Salem. I like the idea that she would initially entertain it, only to like play Cinder and company for fool.
Yeah,
That's what I hope to happen. I hope that she entertains the idea just so she can make them look like idiots.
Yeah,
it seems.
it would
seems
be
Because
against what
and
we saw
I
from
still hold fast to the theory that Raven already has the relic.
yeah.
and the only thing she fears more than Salem is Salem with the relic.
Yeah, that's mine.
Um,
So yeah, I know. I'm quoting you.
Thank you.
but
Okay.
the only other really thing is, and then like episode 7, I could see like the bandit. I honestly, this is what I honestly see is the midpoint. If the midpoint of this volume is like the bandit, is everyone like meeting up at the Bandit Clan hideout, is I could see Team Ranger and Crow showing up to the Bandit Clan as they're being attacked by like Cinder and company and a bunch of. I could honestly see that.
Like negotiations break down and Cinder's all like, okay, plan B, blow them up.
Yeah, plan B, call in the Grim.
Yeah.
Just orbital deep strike them on my position right now.
Or something like that, yeah.
But really that's about it. I feel that the quicker that Blake gets back to Team RWBY, the better it is for her story.
You mean the less terrible? Really?
Yeah. Okay. Here's the other thing too. Also, is what's the when is Sienna Khan's death gonna appear in an episode?
Yeah.
Like, when is that gonna become public knowledge?
That's true. That needs to be confirmed. If
Yeah,
not, then we're going to assume that she's still alive. Here's hoping.
Oh gosh, if she's still alive, that would be hilarious. That if Sienna Khan is still alive,
I think anybody who says that is still in the denial phase.
I am in the.
You leave us alone.
I am in the
Ian.
denial phase. I am definitely in the denial.
I will stay in the denial phase.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong at all, sir.
As long as we're being honest about that one.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
yeah. But then the other thing too is like it could also harm Blink depending on how and what optic it's delivered to. Like they could easily say, "Oh, Winter Schnee," and a bunch came in and killed her. But yeah, that's here now. But that's basically it. My predictions. Dude, it's your turn.
My turn. I mean, yeah, I think you guys mostly said what I would say. I think we're gonna get a bad guy scene. We got to get the bad guy scene next episode or the episode after. With something, something with Tyrion. We got to see what Watts is doing with fucking what's his name?
Lionheart.
Lionheart, yeah, because I think that's the thing that wasn't mentioned like previously.
Oh, we also got to get confirmation as to whether or not Watts is actually going to be with Cinder's team first.
Yeah, that's one.
Because here's the thing. In the first episode, they totally give him two completely contradictory orders in the same sentence.
Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah, Cinder, you and your team meet up with Watts, and then together head to the Bandit Clan. Except not you, Watts. Tyrion needs a new tail.
Wait, what? Oh, here's a fun what if that probably won't happen. What if one of the huntsmen that Crow hires is Watts? Here's another thing too. Also, I'm gonna.
I don't think Watts is a huntsman. I don't even think he's a physical fighter.
I think he's just a doctor.
Here's the one thing I want to bring up too. Also, so if you like went from body to body after you died, wouldn't you have like a hidden Swiss bank account that was loaded full of cash?
I would.
Well, the CCT's down, so he probably can't access his online banking account.
Man, that means just to do a wire transfer, which are better, whatever. But still, though, like,
I think that's still raising red flags to some people.
all right. And
Not only that, but you would still need internet.
If dude is done, I believe it's Sock's turn.
Hold on, I got a couple more things real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Because we got to get that, and we also got to get other, like, we're gonna have to figure out more of the white flag, what the situation with Adam is, because we haven't. They gotta mention not just Sienna Khan's death, but because the thing I'm worrying about is Blake getting over here. I would rather her meet up with Team RWBY at this point than just try to get to Adam first, and that's what I'm worried is going to happen. I don't want that. And Renora needs to make out, and then other than that, pretty much everything that Media and High Power said is what I want. So yeah.
All right, Sock, it's your turn.
Basically, what you guys were three saying is like Blake needs to like Blake and Co need to like get out of Menagerie as soon as possible.
There.
Because otherwise, it's going to be catastrophic time to her little story plot. I want to get. I know we're going to see the whole like. Well, I hope we get a Tyrion Salem scene. Like, I want to see Mama Salem. Like, I just want more Salem. All right, you leave.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
Like but like other than that, it's just like everything's already been covered on my end.
Yeah.
All right.
It seems very linear at this point. Like up until about episode 7, I think it's fairly straightforward. That's why we're kind of all just agreeing with what Media said, basically.
Yeah.
But everything past that is literally just like Pirates of Dark Water.
We have no idea after that. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pass it on. I'm just gonna throw the safety torch to Robert. Safety torch.
Yeah, like you said, you guys pretty much, I think, covered everything. We're gonna get hopefully we're gonna get a Tyrion and Salem scene. And yeah, we're gonna get that. Yeah, I think next episode probably will, like you said, be Yang and Weiss. I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe it's possible that, like, just another possible thing is that maybe Yang will run into Weiss and like help her escape, but I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, for some reason that just seems a little counterintuitive. But anyway,
yeah, because everybody's going toward Raven anyway, so
yeah, everyone's going there, so I think everyone's probably gonna be sticking around there, and then Cinder's gonna show up, and and then Ranger. Yeah, it's pretty, like you said, it's pretty linear at this point. Everyone's heading to Raven, and we're going, and like from there, who knows? We'll see what happens. So yeah.
All right, time to shut it down then.
Yep.
Media, go plug your stuff because I don't think anybody else has anything to.
Man,
I'm working on something. But not
I'm Mediocrity4. Subscribe to the channel. Links are in the description.
Discord.
Yeah, a link is in the description for the Facebook page. Join that, and from there you can get a link to the Discord group. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I will have my review out. It's probably going to be a little later than it usually is. Usually I'm, like, done with it by, like, Tuesday night, and it comes out Wednesday morning. But I think it's going to be another day or two later than usual. Just because I still haven't recorded it yet, and it's I don't know, because I have the script for the reviews, and it's actually shorter than the last two were, so I don't know. We'll see. Beyond Home is going pretty strong. Got a lot of exciting stuff that's about to go down on that end. Yeah, Guardians of Terra, read that, please. And we're coming up on my channel's 1-year anniversary here in about 2 weeks. And I have something special planned for a 1-year anniversary.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You gonna tell us, or is it gonna be a mystery?
It's gonna be a mystery for the YouTube audience, but I'll let like the Discord group know, like when I'm picking up.
Join the Discord.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because I cannot keep my mouth shut about what I'm working on.
I'm also very.
I'm always posting stuff about like, oh hey, I just had this idea for this character. Yeah. Like I just went on a tangent about how I'm gonna give Nova Wukong a cat. Yeah. So other than that, have a good night. Everybody else say
Bye.
goodbye.
Bye.
All right.